And with that
And
said, it is 6:30, and I want to welcome everybody to tonight's action hour. I hope everybody has a level of excitement for our action hour tonight. It's on a building that's on Allegheny, and it's our new ARC headquarters. I walked through it before everything was put in there, and I am really excited to see what the ARC staff has done in the, I guess, month since I've been there now. So I'm going to turn it over to Jessica, and Jake and Adam will fill in when needed.
Yeah, and I guarantee you, Kayla's probably in the background of Jake's Zoom session, so she might even pop in. Who knows? That'd be a great surprise.
Yes, it
Before
would.
we, well, thank you for introducing the members of the team, Gordon, because before we get started, I really would like to recognize our staff. We did not hire movers in this process. Movers are too expensive for a nonprofit. Staff handled this move themselves, all while keeping up with their day-to-day responsibilities. Our COO, Jake, he has been a true jack of all trades. Kayla is probably in the background saying Jake of all trades because he truly is a remarkable and unique individual who is just all his own. He continues to help save the organization money through his skills in renovations and mechanics, and I cannot reiterate enough, staff being so willing to take on the moving process and all of this certainly saved the organization a lot of money as well. Moving an entire headquarters while maintaining daily operations is not a small task, but I am incredibly proud of this group when we were trying to do things quietly over the holidays. While it's typically a little bit more of a quiet time, but it's also the time when staff is able to rest, relax, and reset. Um, they sacrifice that period in time for us, and I'm so grateful to them. Their flexibility, teamwork, and commitment made this transition possible, and that work has not stopped. Gordon, we have put in a lot of work in the last month since you've last seen it. We've been unpacking, upfitting, fine-tuning the space, but we still have a ways to go, and you'll see that in some of the pictures tonight. This team continues to show up with care and pride that they're putting into this headquarters, and I think that that's truly representative of the mission of AMBUCS. I would be remiss if I did not add, we are also incredibly grateful for all of you and your patience through this process. I do not like having to say, I apologize for the delay, but this building stuff. But quite frankly, sometimes it has been, oh my gosh, this building stuff. It's a big bite to take and chew, but we're certainly excited to do it, and we're very proud of the space and looking forward to showing it to you. Tonight is not just about showing off a building, even though that's the fun part, right? It's also explaining why AMBUCS needed this change and how we make this change support mobility volunteers and the families we serve. So we tripled our square footage. Um, and the reason that we needed to do that was in these key areas. Amtrak volume and the complexity of our assembly process, and then, of course, that dream to one day work towards stateside manufacturing. Quite frankly, our existing warehouse space did not meet those needs. We had a lot of product to move back from BCA, which was our assembly partner in this space. They were based out of South Carolina, but unfortunately, in early 2025, announced that they were going to have to go out of business. So to bring all of that back to headquarters after we had grown in such a way, it wasn't going to fit. We also needed to meet training, education, and research demands. More and more, being a leader in this space, determined that we needed to take that leadership role seriously. We also wanted to strengthen volunteer engagement and our support efforts of our volunteers, and this space allows for us to do that. And finally, it provides a launch pad for long-term sustainability of the organization. As we grow, that footprint is in place for us to step into it. Quite frankly, this headquarters exists so chapters and staff can do more for our mission. So I'm going to show you some images in just a bit. But first, I wanted to describe what this new headquarters allows for us to do. And these are things that we can't show in images. Um, Earlier, you remember, I told you we've tripled our square footage. And in that increase of square footage, we are addressing the Amtrak concerns. The biggest change isn't just the size of the warehouse, it's the workflow that we are now afforded with this much bigger space. Faster, more accurate shipping, cleaner inventory flow. We actually have space to take the oldest inventory and to do a backfill of inventory. We haven't had that before. And just to provide a better volunteer experience for all of you. When we have purchased in the past, where we're going to put it is a conversation that we have to have. And now we don't have to have that. Every improvement here shows up as time saved for us, for you, and for the families that we serve. So, speaking of staff, when staff collaborates better, chapters feel it. So, to have this centralized operation, you're going to feel it. Fewer handoffs between us and this external order fulfillment partner allows for us to have faster response times. When I have heard, holy cow, I called. I was missing a part. I needed it for the giveaway desperately by this weekend, and it was at my house in 2 days. When I have heard those stories, 9 times out of 10, it's because you spoke to Kayla, you spoke to Brenda, or you spoke to Jake, and that part was at headquarters. And they walked to the back of headquarters and they grabbed that part and they made sure it went out for you. And I don't say that to besmirch our fulfillment partners of the past, but it's just the ease of logistics, right? There is something to be said about the flexibility that it provides when product is local for our support team to go grab it and make sure you have it. So the space does that for us. In this space, training is no longer something we squeeze in, it's something that we plan for. So when we look at the future and what we can do for training here, not just for therapist training, we are looking at volunteer education, regional chapter trainings, product testing, and outcome supports. These are all things that we can do to not just provide training, but to make our product better. Related to training, our team was also in need of additional space to fulfill the Fred Salmons Research and Training Academy. We needed to bring that to life. Our generous benefactor donated $200,000 to renovate our old warehouse space to create a home specifically for research and training. But as shipping operations returned to headquarters, our existing warehouse no longer provided the room that we needed for such an important part of AMBUCS's present and future. This new space allows us to support training, research, and education in a way that strengthens chapters and better serves therapists, families, and volunteers. And then finally, this move was also guided by a responsibility to be good stewards of AMBUCS resources. What we were spending in storage for product is what we could put into a 5-year mortgage. And by the end of 2025, we were going to need to, and Jake might jump in and say, I don't think that's quite right, Jess. I was going to say we were going to need to double that storage, but Jake very well might say we needed to triple that storage for all of the product that had to come back from BCA and all of the product that we had in offsite storage within North Carolina and all of the product that we had in our old warehouse. Bringing our operations together under one roof, we're utilizing those dollars more thoughtfully, and we're making an investment into a future asset for the organization versus always paying for storage, for rental, for processing our orders. We get to become the owner of this process. And eventually, AMBUCS gets to become an owner of a bigger, more valuable building that will serve us for many, many, many years to come. All right, you're probably saying, all right, sister, let's get to it. We want to see it, the fun part. Okay.
Uh,
So someone actually saw a picture of headquarters. Adam and I were in the same meeting, and they said, "Oh, you have a picture of the old building up. You need to be sure to replace that on the website." And we said, "Oh no, that is the new building." So it does look very similar, but of course, it's much larger. And right now, it doesn't have that spiffy AMBUCS sign, but Jake made sure to take the old one down, and we'll get it outfitted on the new one. So, as I mentioned before, Fred Salmons, the late Fred Salmons, who sadly passed just a couple of months ago, he is or was a generous donor of the Amtrak Training and Research Academy. And so we have in our possession now a 1,000 square foot space that will be dedicated solely to training, to research. When it's not being used for therapist training, we also plan to use the space. Adam will use it heavily to create more videos regarding training about our product, regarding training about being a volunteer of AMBUCS, about being a therapist who volunteers for this organization. We are so, so excited to finally have a space that would make Fred Salmons so proud of what AMBUCS has accomplished and where we'll go with our future. So you'll notice back in the back, we've got like a little pin mark that's showing you that just outside that door, you will head to the production space of AMBUCS. First, let's take a look out back.
Jessica, if you click on the pin, it'll take you on the tour. So if you start
Oh,
from the beginning, yeah. Sorry.
dude, we should have covered that part.
I know.
Boom.
All right, there we go.
Thank you. Obviously, Adam made this tool. So we kind of tossed back and forth. Does it need to be a video? But we were really worried about the bandwidth that maybe a video wouldn't truly do it justice. So here is the front lobby. As you walk in, we all now are outfitted with key cards. So it's just a more secure access to our building. We got a lot of product in there, so therefore we have a lot of liability if someone were to break in. Just ahead, we've got the Amtrak showroom. So, someone asked recently, do you actually have people come in to see the trikes? And the answer is yeah, actually, quite frequently. As headquarters, we also like to have one of everything because when you work there, sometimes it's easier if you're able to just go touch it, see it, feel it, take pictures of it, and see why it might be making that wacky noise that someone has called you about. Just over here to the right, we do have one office space. This is Leah Williams, everybody. She is our part-time accounting coordinator. Back to the showroom. This is what we call North Wing. For a long time, we called it West Wing, and then Jake said, "You guys are wrong about that. You're directionally challenged." If you've ever been to our old headquarters, our storage room was quite I'm going to say messy, but I say that with love. And I say that by also explaining that the old storage room had a lot of stuff in it that we had to store. So we've got big hats, we've got pins. That's what a lot of these white cases are right here. We've got the AMBUCS apparel. And this room is doing a more adequate job of meeting the needs of our AMBUCS team as they have to go pull some of this and ship it to you. Just straight ahead is the only other office on this side of the building. So this will become, when it's not full of boxes, the AMBUCS Donor Lounge, or sometimes you'll hear it called the AMBUC Lounge. Just behind these cabinets over here is a wet bar, so it felt very kick back and relax. There's a couple of fun bookshelves in here that we can't wait to decorate with some of our history and our historical books that really document the history of AMBUCS. This is a space that we wanted to create so that when we do have visitors, they have somewhere to go work, hang out, and just experience some of our historical items of AMBUCS. All right. Oh, there's the wet bar. Probably got Gino's attention with that one.
You did. I was thinking I was starting to snicker.
Hmm. So we have two break rooms in this space. We don't need two break rooms. So we decided that we would keep the larger of the two dedicated to an actual break room for employees, and it's back near the warehouse space. This one being positioned just next door to sets of bathrooms, we decided would be better suited for a changing area. So in our previous building, we had talked about wanting an adult size changing table, but quite frankly, did not have the space to accommodate one. We have had people who have come to our building to be part of therapist trainings, to see it, touch it, feel it, experience an Amtrach, and unfortunately needed this sort of space of dignity. And we have had to politely say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I have this big fluffy quilt if you'd like to lay on it." Or sadly, we've had some who have had to leave headquarters and go to their vehicles so that they could change the rider. So this is an area where we wanted to provide that dignity space so that people could utilize it if needed um, to take care of their personal needs. And then, as I mentioned, just positioned by some of the bathrooms. This is the production space. We talked about that primary break room. This will take you back over to the warehouse. This will take you to the training space. Um, let's see. Let's go back of the building. We do have two dock doors now. This is also a bay door, and it's actually been coming in handy. We can pull our vehicles up if we have to load some stuff up or unload. This real estate area back here in the back is substantially bigger than what we were working with. We have had to have people come cut back trees because our drivers of tractor trailers were complaining because they were running into the tree branches, and it was just not easy to pull back into the back of the AMBUCS building to access some of the dock doors. But now they really have no excuse.
And that's all gravelled.
It is. All right, production space. This is kind of Jake's baby. We're so fortunate to have someone on staff who has done a lot. He has decorated in having to set up assembly spaces. So, as you'll notice, this back over here, and Adam, you can tell me if we've got a better picture of this, but this is essentially our shipping space. If you can see my mouse back over here. Um, we've got
Try
people.
the bird's eye, the one on the far left. Yeah, I can give you
Thank you,
the
sir.
yeah.
Yeah, that's better. Thank you. Um, so this is our shipping space. Just over here, we have three stations set up where people are assembling the Paceline product. Back over here, they've been filling the Go Mirror product that has to be custom packed. As you can read here, we do have a mezzanine now, which has been fabulous for some of that other miscellaneous storage that we may only touch once a year. So think accounting records that we have to keep track of for X number of years, conference supplies. This has been a wonderful treat for all of us as we've been. That is not what I wanted to do.
Oh no, sorry. There you go.
That's okay. That's okay. That was my fault.
That's the yeah.
So this is just one side of the warehouse space that we have available. I call it warehouse space, but someone like Jake would call it the production space, because this is really where all of the action is happening. We can come back through here. Kayla's office, it's looking so cute. One of the areas that I will mention is in our last building, we only had 4 offices. It's funny to me that we dreamed that that would be enough. But we also had a really big open floor room that, there's Brenda, that allowed for us to set up 2 sets of cubicles. So it ended up being 8 cubicles total. But as we entered into this world of Zoom and video calls, it became it became a little bit of a bear to be sitting in one of the cubicles and you're on a video conference meeting and all of a sudden somebody's having a full conversation behind you and they don't mean to interrupt your call. It's just the nature of the way that it was for that big open floor to kind of be also the communal area for the organization. So each staff member does have their own dedicated space. You just saw Brenda. I'm right straight ahead. There's Adam. And then Jake and Karen are on this side of the wing with me. This is our conference room. So we've got the three whiteboards, we've got the TV screen. It'll be a great place for us to have our May board retreat when our national board comes to visit us.
Got a date on it? Well, I got my calendar up.
Yeah, it's June 2 through 5.
Thank you.
And then we're going to jump right over here to the warehouse. So this is where everything will be stored. It's a lot. Looks like a lot. Obviously, we still have some things to go up into these racks, but thankfully, we now have the space to do that. Speaking of, we are fully stocked, so get those Amtrak orders in here. We've got a couple of production rooms just over to the side. We decided to keep some of those. Let's see, Jake's fun stuff, his welder, it's back in this far corner. Did I miss any rooms?
We've got those rooms on the back wall by the shipping station, just off to the left
Yeah,
of this picture. We're not using them at the moment, but I think in the future they'll have an awesome place for production.
there you go. Yep. I believe I have shown it all. So one last thing that I wanted to reiterate is this headquarters isn't the finish line. It's the foundation of things to come. We are very excited in ways that we can better grow the organization, serve the organization. It's 21,600 square feet, so we have tripled our square footage. But when you think about that, it's sometimes I think, how in the world did we fit in 7,000 square feet?
We didn't. We did.
We didn't.
We did what we could.
Correct. What questions do you guys have?
What do you need?
I don't know. I think we are actually looking, we have positioned ourselves to be able to finish some of our projects in the very near future. We will have some projects that we will continue to work on. This is a lease to purchase agreement, so we are leasing this space until June 15th. And the reason for that is the seller needs to avoid capital gains taxes. So by leasing it for these 6 months, 7 months, we are putting 100% of the value of the lease towards the purchase price of the building, which is great because we don't have interest that we have to worry about. And then we will purchase this summer. So some of the projects that we would like to do, we're holding off just until we officially own the building, just because you never know. But we have certainly
You've talked
positioned these
finance,
agreements.
and you've already talked finances with.
Yeah, yeah.
Jake, what has moving into the new space, what has it allowed you to do back in the warehouse for Amtrak and building and production? What has it enabled you?
Oh gosh, what hasn't it already done, Gordon? I can think just on the way home, Kayla and I were talking, and she goes, "Do you realize that we've already shipped out 200 orders from this new space? So we've barely been up and running, but we actually have room to get a bike ready to ship and then leave it on the floor, where at the old building, you had room for 12 and then you had to stop because you didn't have any more space. Um, and just to have everything in one location, to be able to for someone to call and say, "Hey, do you have a cap for that nut that goes on the back axle?" We can say, "Well, let me go make sure. I'm pretty sure, but and I can put my eyes on it, and then we can send it out the door that same day." Just to have everything in one spot. I've already seen a difference in morale for the team. We were shoehorned into the ARC with what we were doing, what we were trying to do, and we made it work. But just the smiles, even the new staff members seem to really be enjoying it and taking a lot of ownership over what we're already doing.
Here, here.
Jessica, is the other site, the old ARC sold, gone? What's its stat? Did you sell it?
Yep, we sold
Great.
it. Yep.
Awesome.
And fortunately, it's a kind of an up and coming area. It's pretty close to the airport. So we were able to get $1.15 million for that building. And
Wow.
then this one costs 1.72.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good
So
job.
triple the square footage, but didn't triple the price tag, which is how we like
Yeah.
it.
You did a great job. Good job.
And Jessica, y'all are moving the donor courtyard, the old bricks, right? Correct? Or expanding that? Is that you want to expand? You want
Yeah.
to talk about that?
Yeah, thank you, Matt. Because we know that that kind of puts everybody's minds at ease. What happened to our bricks? Well, after we had a lot of ice hit the Carolinas, and it was the day before closing, Jake and Adam went and dug the bricks up.
Hey.
Yep, I can tell you there are 360. I know Adam knows it too. We got all of them, and I can tell you that the payload of a Ford Maverick will not hold all 360. So we had to make 3 trips to the new building, 3 trips to Lowe's to replace the bricks, but they are all out. And Adam and I both, I think, still have feeling in our fingers.
Wow. Good
Wow.
job.
Yeah, really. That's dedication.
It
Yeah.
is a great group. Yeah, I called and begged for more time for the bricks, but Jake was like, "No, I don't want them. I don't want to give them time to ask for anything else." I was like, "Yeah, that's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Let's just be done." And it's exciting to be done. I know Jake, probably more than any of us, is very excited to kind of close that chapter.
Hmm.
Very. Which I'm not, this is just some more info to throw in there. Just last week, the final shipment from South Carolina arrived in North Carolina. So, for those of you that don't know, BCA had 2 locations in South Carolina. We had product in both. They've just sold the facility, so we've been working to move everything out of there. And the last truck came in on Thursday. So, we officially have all Amtrak product in North Carolina, which is so great to say because I have made that drive. I could do it with my eyes closed at this point, I think. So it's exciting. So we have a few truckloads left at our warehouse in Winston-Salem, but other than that, everything is in High Point.
I love to hear that. That tells me that warehouse space will no longer be a bottleneck for getting Amtrak's in or out of the headquarters.
Absolutely. As we chase what's an appropriate stock number for us as an organization, one of the barriers has always been customers, mostly chapters, but customers in general, don't like to buy something unless it's in stock, right? They don't want to place the order and then wait 6 months to get it. So when looking at our numbers for what we do in sales, it's not a good prediction of what we could have done had we had the product. So really, the the real way to address this is to just order more product. But one of the big issues is you have to pay for it, which we are able to do that, but you have to store it. So to remove such a barrier that's just shouldn't even be a consideration for an organization that needs the product to sell the orders. Uh, just to have that off the table is a relief.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yep.
Can. You can. Well, that's good because I finally did something right. Who is actually doing the shipping right now?
It's a great question. Jay, do you want to? Hey! I was like, Jake, do you want to move your camera over?
That's Kayla.
So, Greg, that's an awesome question. Kayla has picked up so many orders the last few months. Gosh, I would probably guess over 500 that she shipped out by herself. And she still is, but we do have some staff members that have started. She's training them on how to do it. So they come in and they're learning the paceline process because it's a little more intricate. But there's a lot of tricks with the older product, the Pro Series, on how to fill those. So they're learning that process as we go. So she's starting to work her way back to the front office along with training everybody. But I think every time I walked out there today, she was out there with safety glasses and cut resistant gloves on. So
Well,
Yeah, I think
they better pay attention to her because, and they better do it right. That's all I'm going to say.
yeah,
We have Tony. He is our longtime part-timer that has
Sure.
been with the organization for 16 years. So he's been helping out with the paceline assembly process and doing a really good job of it. But then we also have two other employees who are temporary employees through a staffing agency that are dedicated shippers. But, without those Schumachers, they have just been the glue in that shipping process for us.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I would make a comment that about a week and a half ago, Great Plains chapter took 9 Amtrak's off the wish list in the state of Oklahoma. And I think the order was made on Thursday, and I believe they were shipped out on Saturday or Sunday. So they're on their way to Oklahoma, and then after we build them, they'll be headed up towards Tulsa to be given out to recipients. But that's something that is really noticeable about how quickly moving to the new building allowed for shipment to take place very quickly.
Thank you, Gordon.
Sounds good to me.
It's great. Not only do the chapters get it quicker, but that means they should be sending you money quicker too. So you don't have that stock and all that investment sitting there as long.
Yep. Product goes out, money comes in. That's what we like to hear.
Yep.
Could you talk a little bit about Jessica or Jake, about the increase in the number of Amtrak orders that we're doing in 2026 so that people will know, hey, there's Amtrak's on the way and they're going to be out timely. Like the 22% increase?
I think now it's more like 30% increase because we upped our paceline orders. We will still continue to offer both upright foot trikes, paceline series, as well as the Pro Series, just until we can have a better gauge of where preferences are going. And right now it seems to be split right down the middle. I think you will start to see more of that DIY pace line start to kind of fade away just because you all have been so gracious to help us catch up those assembled Amtrakes. But now we want to take pride in assembling them and being able to pay a little bit more closer attention to quality of that assembly process. So when it's put together in our warehouse, we can see if a component is not as it should be before it gets to the end user. But yeah, we have upped our Amtrak orders probably in a way that feels a little too high for us. But it's what we need to do as an organization to, as I mentioned earlier, figure out what are our true sales numbers if we had the product and you were able to purchase it at time that it was desired. And Jake, do you have anything else to add to that?
No, I think you nailed it. And I think we can almost circle back to the amount of available space as well. So in the past, we ordered so that containers would arrive to the ARC every 2 or 3 months. So you're probably all well aware, you'll order and we'll say, yeah, you'll get it in 2 to 3 months because that's when the container will get here. Um, so along with the higher volume of orders for 2026, we're also increasing the frequency at which we receive those containers. So rather than every 2 or 3 months, we are scheduled to receive one container a month starting in April through the end of the year. So lower quantities per container, but we'll get them more often. So really hoping that that will help with our back order situation because that's something I hear from Kayla and Brenda quite often is this available and how quick can I get it? And lots of times that's the deciding factor for not only our chapters, but our dealers, our charitable partners. So really hoping that we'll see that trend on sales in 2026, and we will do our absolute best to make sure the quality matches that trend.
Any other questions? Well, I will drop a plug for this. We're not quite ready to do launch, but as I'm sure you know, there are a lot of spaces in this current Allegheny building that have a naming opportunity. So we will be rolling out a campaign that will allow you to, if you so choose, sponsor a space, sponsor a room, sponsor equipment. We also intend to have an Amazon wish list. Our chairs have not been replaced. I've been at AMBUCS 12 years tomorrow. I've never seen us replace chairs. And I find myself sitting in the floor at least every hour because it won't hold the air in it. So lots of ways to support the new building, the organization as a whole. The bricks are going to have a home. If you had a brick at the old facility, they will be placed at the new facility. But we will have that opportunity as well. If you're like, what's the bricks? We have this lovely donor courtyard where so many bricks have been engraved, whether it's to honor someone or to memorialize an AMBUC who has since passed. It's a great way to make them forever a part of headquarters.
So how many bathrooms does this place have? I mean, I would think that would be a great naming opportunity for someone.
I
I
know.
could name one after Greg's Ferris.
They're but see, here's the thing. They got to come up with a better idea than Pekin, or they really just fell short because Pekin sponsored the old ladies' bathroom and had a sign in there that said, Pekin is peeking at you. Always a fun conversation for new hires because they're like, who is Pekin?
Well, instead of sitting on the John, you could sit on Greg. Yeah.
I thought
Any
of
thoughts
several
about
things to say,
is
but
it
I'm not
already
going
open
to.
for the? I'm sorry, Greg.
No, go ahead.
Any thoughts? I was going to say, is it already open for visitations, and do you have any thoughts about like doing any kind of a ribbon cutting or grand opening in the future?
Thank you, Matt. Yes, we are still trying to land on when our open house would be, but we will give you all plenty of notice. We would love to do a ribbon cutting and invite each and every single one of you to come be a part of that and to tour the space. We will get that information out soon. Originally, we had the very lofty goal of March, and then that quickly became, let's try to make it the best version of headquarters it can be before doing that.
All right, Greg, you're lit up. Did you want to say something?
Who, me?
Greg Ferris?
No, I said what I
Okay,
needed to say.
right.
Jessica, when we do, I'll bring the bugles. I don't know what they are, but I've contacted them to say I need more bugles.
Yeah, so Terry sent us this lovely basket to just thank staff for what they had done for the new headquarters, and we so appreciate that, Terry. But they had these really delicious bugles in the basket. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but I told Terry there was a battle of the bugles because we were all trying to eat the bugles.
Bugle?
Yeah, like the bugle, the little cone that you put on your fingertips.
Oh, the edible
Mhm.
bugles.
Dipped in
That's how everybody
chocolate. Is
eats
that
them,
right?
right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chocolate does not last in our office.
it's true.
I've had those chocolate covered ones before. They are really delicious.
So yummy.
So
Yeah.
Jessica, I just sent you a text. One thing I want to let you know that most states have both federal and state government warehouses that you can either get surplus material from, like universities, police departments, fire departments, things like that. Might be advantageous for you to kind of investigate that a little bit for North Carolina. All you got to do is be like a 501c3
Mm-hmm.
or a government entity. And if you get a government entity to do it for you, then, hey, they might just give it to you after that, but they can go get it for you as well. I've seen that. I've witnessed that. But I mean, as a state agency, I have sent employees over to this federal and state warehouse and say, you want a new chair, just go pick a new chair because it's going to save you anywhere from $1,800 or $800 to like $1,500 for an office chair. And, some of them are terrible. They're 911 center rejects that, 911 centers are used 24 hours a day, and those chairs get abused. But then you get the other ones that now, especially with remote, these offices are buying them, and these chairs are barely used. So might be advantageous for you to, I'm sure there's got to be some office out there. If not, we'll talk, and who knows, maybe Oswald and I'll load a truckload up and bring them to you.
Hey, thank you, Gina.
Hey,
Appreciate it.
Jessica, we found a bank that had closed and they didn't touch any of the furniture in the bank. It had been sitting empty for a year, and they gave us keys, said, "What do you want? We got conference tables and chairs, all for
Wow.
free." It was no big deal.
That is so cool. Yeah,
Mhm.
we'll check into that. Well, because Gino's sitting here talking about $1,800. I'm never going to get another chair. I'm just going to keep pumping that bad boy up.
He's surprised how much an office chair costs you.
Mhm.
Well, we appreciate all of you for making the time to spend the evening with us and check out headquarters. We hope you're as excited as we are.
Yep.
Yep.
And I appreciate the ARC staff. I remember being there in the middle of December. Actually, it was the week before Christmas, and you guys had just gone down to pick up the keys to the building. And the day we were leaving, Jake was hooking up internet in the building and everything like that. And by the pictures, yeah, you got a little ways to go, but it's all in the new building, and it looks great. And I really appreciate the staff's hard work. I think we all appreciate the staff's hard work because not only did you make a building move, but you continued to do your day jobs. And it's really appreciated what you're doing. March 9th of next month. I was going to say next year, but next year, no. Next month, action hour will be on Big Hat. We have our national Big Hat officers, Terry, Leo, and Jenny will do the presentation on Big Hat. But we have a lot that's happening before that. As all of you should know now, scholarship season has begun. So be out there looking for those candidates to receive AMBUCS scholarship. That will run through April 15th. In a couple of short weeks, we'll begin spring branding time. March 1st, May 31st. We need to recruit members, and we also need to talk about retaining members. So far this year, we've actually recruited about 9.3% new membership. However, we've lost an equal amount. And I have a roster that I'm going over, and by the time the exec board is on Thursday night, I hope to have some information to share with that. But go out and recruit. Have fun during your spring branding time. Do a competition. Bring in members. Our first region conference is just around the corner at the last weekend of March, Central Region. And then for 5 of the next 6 weeks after that, we'll be doing a conference with the exception of Easter weekend. And before you know it, national conference will be upon us. Everybody knows what the room rate is. It's $194 per night. That includes the resort fee. For those that don't know, registration at national conference will be $190. Jessica and I sat down and did a lot of number crunching. We came up with the conference registration. All the region directors have a talking sheet that was given to them at the last board meeting. For those that are not on here, if you don't have it, I'll send it to you again. Sponsorship, donations to national conferences, very important. Without sponsorship and donations, a national conference would be about $500. And nobody wants to pay that amount to go to a national conference. We're starting to prepare for it. It's going to be good. It's going to start out on Wednesday night. Hopefully, no hurricanes or rain hits, but we will do Wednesday night on the beach. It'll be a pig and a boil for that meal, and then we'll have a great conference that will culminate on Saturday evening with the big awards. And Matt, if he's healthy, will get sworn in as the national president at that time. So hopefully he'll be able to see out of both eyes. But I want to thank everybody for attending tonight. It's really appreciated when everybody comes on here. And again, go back to your chapters and talk about the new building and what the new building is going to offer us. It's going to be a building that's going to take AMBUCS into the future. It has so much potential for us, and I think it's going to prove to be big dividends. Again, I really appreciate the staff's hard work on that. And if there's no other or does anybody have any questions before we sign off for the evening?
Good job, Jake, Adam, Jessica.
All the staff. Yeah, all of you guys. Thank you for everything you guys have done.
And Kayla's hit on the corner there.
I missed this part. Where's she at?
There she is. Yes. So I want to again thank everybody for coming on tonight. And if you're in the Northeast, get ready. More snow's coming. If you're in Oklahoma, get ready for a cold day tomorrow, about 68 degrees. So, and Matt, you get better.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
All right. All right. And I have nothing further. And thank you everybody for attending tonight.
Okay.
Good to see you
Nobody
guys.
puts
Thank
Kayla
you.
in the corner.
Thank you.
See ya. Good job.
Good night. Bye.
Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Thank y'all.
That's right, Robin.
Bye.
Good
Thank
job,
you.
guys.